crap. I've forgotten my bloody tripod base plate for the phone holder. How are you supposed to take long exposure photos without a base plate? Time to improvise. So it's about 10 past 6. The sun comes up at 6:30, I think it is. Sunrise at 6:30. The flies are already incredibly friendly this morning. It's going to really annoy the hell out of me. But as you may see from behind here, we've got a fair bit of cloud cover. And cloud cover at sunrise generally is going to mean a cool sunrise. I don't know if you can see that over there, but we might have a really cool sunrise. So I thought it would be a good idea to take some long exposure photos of the sunrise over some water. What I might do is try the Huawei P40 Pro. It's got that long exposure mode on it for sunrises and light painting and stuff like that, but it's definitely got one of those on there. So I'm going to put that on there and see if I can get some colour in this sky. I'm also going to try the iPhone, but we'll see how we go with the P40 first. So I forgot my base plate for the tripod to hold the phone holder onto the tripod. That's like rookie mistake 101. These bloody flies, fair dinkum. But what I've got is this thing that Ulanzi sent me a little while ago. They sent it to me so that I could basically put the camera in different locations and different spots while I'm recording video. And it's actually doubled up really well for this. I've put the Ulanzi phone holder directly onto this. And what it is this RO94, I think it's called. It's like this clamp that it's got a wedge in the middle, so it's got a ball at each end, so you can move this thing wherever you want. It's very, very cool. So I've set that Huawei P40 Pro up on the silky water mode, because what we've got here, every time I try and do long exposure, I always try and get something that's moving and something that's still. And I don't know if you can see that here, but there's a little fence going across the waterway here. This is a channel, an irrigation channel for all the farms around this area. And I'm going to try and smooth this water out. It's got a little bit of, because there's a bit of wind, how bad are these bloody flies this morning? Because the water's got a little bit of movement on it, I'm going to try and stop that, make it nice and silky. The wind's not blowing that bad, hence all these bloody flies. I'm going to try and get some of this sky moving a little bit, as well as some colour. So we'll see what's going on. This one here has been going now for 3.5 minutes. I'll stop this in a second because the sky's changing colour. We'll start it again. When people talk about where I live, it's very remote. We have awesome skies, except for today, it's very cloudy. But one of the worst things about living where I live are bloody flies. And this morning, because there's not much wind, the flies are everywhere. This time of year, have a look at this. Heaps of the bloody thing. Sunrises, sunsets, you've got to be patient. You've got to be patient. You've got to prepare yourself that it may not bloody work at all. In fact, this morning it may not work. We'll just see. We shall see, because there's a little bit of colour out there, but the cloud's a little bit thicker over there, so it might just stay grey all morning. We shall see. There's a very, very small amount of colour. I don't know if you can see it just over here. We shall see, but be prepared to be disappointed, and then you won't be disappointed. Turn out too bad. Let's go back, because that sky is changing a bit now. We'll go back and we will do some more long exposure stuff. We'll go into light painting on the Huawei. We'll go to silky water, touch out there. I'm going to go the ultra wide lens this time. We'll see. It's got a smaller aperture, so it's going to be a little bit darker. When you're doing long exposure stuff, don't be afraid to change out the lenses. You'll be surprised the difference that it can make, especially with what we've got going on with something like here. Like out here, you might think there's not much there, and you'd be right, there's not much there. But you've got to make the best of what you've got. People say you can't polish a turd. Well, I'm a big believer in that. You can put a bit of glitter on it and make it look a bit better. So one of the ways we can do that is change the lenses. So I was using just the wide angle lens here, and I've just changed to the ultra wide angle lens, and what that's going to do is a couple of things. One, it brings out the enormity of, is that a word, enormity, of what we've got here. Like the skies here are just massive, massive skies. So that's cool, and I want to bring as much of that into this little tiny sensor that we can. And the second thing is that we're going to marry that together with these foreground elements. If we look down the bottom here, like these rocks and stuff, all those rocks, I really want to have them in the photo as well. It's going to give us a big sky plus the really close foreground. And in a long exposure photo, it can actually make the world of difference. Opposite of that, if there's something that's further out there than what we're dealing with here right now, like you might have a tree or something way out there, well, use the telephoto and zoom in on the tree and get the long exposure happening behind that tree that's way out there. That'll give you a little bit of lens compression as well. It'll make a different sort of photo. But here today, because we haven't got too much happening out there, the sky's moving a little bit, but the foreground has got some nice stable sort of rocks going on. It'll work well. Well, I've waited for about a good half an hour, probably 45 minutes, and this has done nothing at all. Bloody mongrel of a sky this morning. It kind of sits in the mood of the flies that are really getting to me at the moment. What I might do though, we don't want to waste this opportunity. I've already forgotten my base plate for my tripod. That's okay, I've got that covered. But with the sky doing what it's doing, as in not much, there's a bit of cloud moving, and it's not moving that fast, to be honest. I've done some 5 or 6 minute long exposure photos and hasn't really moved that far. It's smoothed out the water in front of us here, but hasn't done much else. But because it's still kind of dark and gloomy, if you like, I think it's worthwhile maybe we'll try something like that, just a regular photo, and we'll see how well we can edit this in sort of like a dark and gloomy sort of an edit. Anyway, let's take a photo. So it doesn't really matter now, we're not taking a long exposure photo, we'll just go into the camera app. I'm going to use the iPhone here, to be honest. It doesn't matter what we're going to use. The principle of what I'm about to show you is going to be the same. I'll use the RAW functionality on this phone. I'll touch out there for focus, and I'm going to go the ultra wide lens because of those rocks that I talked about earlier down the front here. And that there now has a nice leading line through that photo with the channel and with the side of the channel with the rocks. Like your eye is going to start in this photo down the bottom right hand corner and head up along that channel bank up to the sky, up to where the channel goes out to the horizon. So we can touch up there for focus, hit the shutter button. That's it, there's nothing else to do. Now we're going to edit this into like a dark and gloomy sort of a photo. The editing of this I'm going to do in Adobe in Light. There's a massive bloody fish down there, check this out. I reckon that's a carp. They're kind of, they're a pest around here. They eat all the cod. I think the rule is around here, if you go fishing and you catch one of those carps, you can't put it back in the water. It's illegal to put it back in the water. It's that much of a pest. We're going to put this photo into Lightroom. Lightroom these days, it's getting better and better and better. Every time I use this bloody app and I update it, it looks like it's getting better and better. The sky masking, the presets, they're just sensational. So I've opened up this one here in Lightroom, and there's the photo there. You can see down the bottom corner there, you've got those rocks there. They're nicely in focus. The sky is all in focus. It's a good photo. It's a long aperture photo. The first thing we're going to do is go down the bottom there to presets, and there you've got some presets right there. I'm going to use that CN01, that's a cinematic look. One touch button, hit that, look at that. That's amazing. I think that's really, really cool. So I'm just going to hit the tick on that, go over to masking now, hit the plus, and we're going to mask the sky. So select sky, it's going to go through, find what it thinks is the sky. It did a pretty good job with that. We'll go to color, we'll add a bit of magenta. Actually, we're going to add a lot of magenta to this to give it that really sort of gothic, dark sort of look. We'll change that to blue a little bit with the temperature, increase the saturation, go to effects, increase the clarity, increase the dehazing very, very slightly, hit the tick, and that's good. That's the photo that we've got today. Sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. I was looking for a really ripper sunrise, it just didn't happen. The photo that we've got though, I'm super duper happy with that. It always pays to have a little plan in the back of your head in case it doesn't work. So what I've taken away from this is, one, bring your bloody tripod mount so that you don't have to go and find something to fix your phone to, and two, bring some fly repellent, because these flies, fair dinkum, do them a freaking head in. Catch you later.